Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Any time of the day or night, wherever you are, peace and blessings. And again, thank you for spending a portion of your day and your time with me. So listen, I'm not going to be long, but I did make a commitment, actually just a few videos ago, that I would not forget about Palestine. And so I did look at Al Jazeera, looking at the news there. They're telling a whole lot more than what we're hearing here in the United States. So I just wanted to go ahead and share some of the things that are going on there, and just to keep people updated on the things that are happening over there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload this clip, and then I will be right back at the end of the video. Okay.
The risk of famine is growing in Gaza. More than 500,000 people are facing catastrophic food insecurity because of Israel's war and siege. That's the stark warning from the World Food Programme and other UN agencies. So is Israel using food deprivation as a war tactic? This is Inside Story. Hello, welcome to the programme. I'm Adrian Finnegan. Surviving in a war that has killed more than 25,000 people and injured 63,000 in Gaza is not just a matter of avoiding Israel's bombs, bullets and brutality. Survival for 2.3 million Palestinians under siege and under attack also means finding enough food to eat. A crisis of unprecedented scale is looming, according to the UN, with everyone in Gaza at risk of food insecurity in the next few weeks. Hamas has called for the area to be declared a famine zone, while Israel claims there is enough food. So what's really happening, and what needs to be done to ease the crisis? We'll be discussing all of this and more with our guests in just a moment. But first, Malakabi Motsepe has this report on why many people in Gaza are hungry.
A desperate cry for help for the most basic of human needs. When Palestinians aren't looking for shelter from Israeli drones and rockets, they are searching the essentials for survival: food and clean water. More than 2 million people in Gaza under Israeli attack and siege are facing what the United Nations is calling catastrophic hunger.
I regret to say, we are on the verge of a famine, a real famine. Rice is almost out of stock. It's the second most basic food item to flour. If we run out of rice, we will be consumed by famine. This is the harsh reality.
Agencies trying to deliver aid across Gaza say Israel's unrelenting bombardment hinders them from doing so, and nearly 3/4 of their requests to enter are rejected. Israel searches all deliveries it permits into the territory. This causes major delays, while some aid doesn't get through at all.
There was 2 convoys around the 11th and the 13th of January that were carrying 200 tons of food for 15,000 people. 15,000 people, that's really a very, very small numbers. And this is why we're seeing people becoming more desperate, being impatient to wait for food distributions, because it's very sporadic. They don't get it frequently, and they have no trust or confidence that these convoys will come again.
Israel says it is allowing aid in and there's enough food, and accuses aid agencies of lying and creating false narratives. Allegations of deliberate efforts to starve Palestinians in Gaza over time is at the core of South Africa's genocide lawsuit that is being considered in the International Court of Justice in The Hague. More than 25,000 Palestinians have been killed in this war. Gaza has been under siege and Israeli attack for nearly 2 decades. The World Bank and World Health Organization said before the war, nutritional deficiencies and associated health problems were widespread in the Strip, with pregnant women and infants particularly affected. The war has worsened the situation, with food now far more scarce and expensive.
The prices are unimaginable. 1 kilo of this bad quality wheat flour is 10, 12 shekels. That's up from 3 in the past for a much better quality. Half of this flour is unusable. Imagine that even before the war and when people had salaries, the situation was already untenable. People were suffering. Right now, it's many, many, many times worse.
The war has brought misery for people in Gaza. Those who've survived Israel's attacks so far face a daily battle to find food for themselves and their families. Malekhabe Motsepe, Al Jazeera for Inside Story.
Well, for those suffering from hunger in Gaza, legal definitions are not exactly what they'll be thinking about right now. But what actually defines a famine? Well, according to the Integrated Food Security Phase classification, food security, nutrition, and mortality are all considered. The threshold is reached when at least 20% of households in an area are facing extreme food shortages with limited ability to change their circumstances. About 1 out of 3 children in the population are acutely malnourished, and when there's at least 2 people dying per day for every 10,000 inhabitants due to starvation, malnutrition, and disease. Article 8 of the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court states that intentionally using the starvation of civilians as a method of warfare by impeding relief supplies is a war crime.
So just when you think it couldn't get any worse, you know, we really, really, really need to keep the Palestinian people in our prayers. We do, because they are really in dire conditions, and they need all the help they can get. And we are not able to be there to assist them, you know, but thankfully prayer has no boundaries. It can travel anywhere. And so I'm just soliciting the prayers of those of you who know the words of faith to go ahead and pray for the Palestinian people. You heard the statistics, you heard how many of them are in trouble, and you heard what constitutes famine. Famine, that means without having any food to eat, and at least 50% of the Palestinian population in Gaza, that's children who are dying, and that's beside the ones who have been, who are dead directly because of war, who have been caught in bombings and lives have been taken. One man, I think I did a video on it, who lost 3 of his children at one time. And it's horrible. So keep Palestine in your prayers and pray that this war ends and that Palestine gets all of its rightful territory back. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Thank you for your time. Peace and blessings. And as always, stay woke.